Welcome to Vital Steps with Dr. Adler. This is the show that helps you feel strong, clear, and healthy.
It's good
no
to
matter
see you
your
again,
age.
Doctor.
Each week, we share simple advice that's backed by science and full of wisdom. We talk about food, movement, sleep, and everything in between.
Hi guys, welcome to this episode with, of course, our own Dr. Adler. In this one, we're talking about something you really need to hear. It's the one snack that looks super healthy, but it can secretly mess up your heart and send your blood pressure through the roof in just minutes. You don't want to miss this. What is it? Why is it so dangerous? And how can we protect our heart, our blood pressure, and our circulation without giving up all the fun stuff? Let's break it down in a way that's super easy to understand. First, a quick reminder. Our heart is like a big, strong pump. It pushes blood through our body, carrying oxygen and nutrients. But for it to work right, the pressure of that blood needs to stay in a healthy range. That's called blood pressure. If it's too high, it can quietly damage our bodies. And if we're not careful, it can lead to heart attacks, strokes, or kidney problems. And here's the scary part. You might not feel anything when your blood pressure goes too high. It can sneak up little by little. And sometimes it starts with what we eat. So back to Dr. Adler. He says there's one food that's raising people's blood pressure fast, and most folks don't even know it. It's not candy. It's not soda. It's not even fried food. It's salty snacks. Yes, the ones we think are kind of healthy.
Here's the truth. We all need a little salt to stay alive. But too much salt? That's where the danger starts. It pulls water into our blood vessels. That makes the blood vessels tighter. And when that happens, the heart has to push harder. Boom! Blood pressure goes up. It's like trying to squeeze more water through a garden hose that's too small. Eventually, something wears out or bursts.
So how much salt is too much? Well, experts say we should only have 6 grams of salt a day. That's about a teaspoon. Sounds easy, right? But guess what? Most of us are eating way more than that without even knowing it. And a big part of it comes from these healthy, salty snacks. Wait, hold on. What kinds of snacks are we talking about?
Let's talk examples. A handful of olives? Salty. A little bowl of salted nuts? Salty. Even those trendy kale chips or veggie crisps are still packed with salt. How about a slice of turkey from a sandwich? Or a strip of bacon at breakfast? Yep, both loaded. Even simple things like bread or breakfast cereal can have hidden salt in them. Just one bowl of healthy cereal could eat up half your salt for the day.
But wait a minute. I thought nuts were good for me. I thought olives were healthy.
They are, in small amounts. However, the problem is with the salt that gets added to them during packaging. One small pack of salted nuts might have more salt than your whole day's limit, and we often eat more than one. That's how it adds up fast. The same goes for olives. Yes, they have healthy fats, but they're stored in salty brine. That salty liquid soaks right in, so even if you're eating something natural, it might still be pushing your blood pressure higher.
So, what happens when we eat too much salty food over and over again?
If we keep doing it, our body starts to change. The walls of our blood vessels can get stiff, our heart works harder, and slowly, our blood pressure creeps up. It's not just about feeling thirsty or bloated. It's about long-term damage to your heart, your kidneys, and even your brain.
Okay, but if salt is hiding in so many foods, how do we even know what's too much?
It's a great question. The answer is labels. Always check food labels when you buy snacks. Look at the sodium number. That's the salt. If a food says it has more than 1.5 grams of salt per 100 grams, that's high. Look for things that say low salt or reduced sodium. And here's a pro tip. Make your own snacks at home when you can. You can roast your own unsalted nuts. You can bake veggie chips without adding salt. Even popcorn can be a heart-friendly snack if you skip the salt and butter.
So, we don't have to give up snacks. We just have to be smart about it.
Exactly. It's not about being perfect. It's about being aware. Make swaps when you can. Choose fresh foods. Try to cut down on eating out or ordering takeout because restaurants often add a lot more salt than you think. Even sauces and dressings, like soy sauce, ketchup, or salad dressing, can be full of salt. Try reduced salt versions or use less. Your heart will thank you.
That's good news. So, just by watching out for salt, we can help keep our heart, our blood pressure, and our whole circulation system happy?
Yes, small changes make a big difference, especially over time. Lowering salt doesn't just help blood pressure, it also helps reduce swelling, lowers your risk of stroke, and gives your heart less work to do. Dr. Adler says this all the time. Your blood pressure may be silent, but your choices speak loud.
So next time you grab a snack, even one that looks healthy take a quick peek at the salt. Remember the rule, 6 grams a day. That's it, not more. Snack smart. Cook more at home. And if you do eat something salty, drink water, move around, and balance it out with fresh fruits and veggies. But hold on, we're not done yet. There are 3 more foods that could be hurting your heart, even if they look harmless at first. One of them is sweet and sneaky. Yes, I'm talking about sugar. So let's get right into it. So Dr. Adler, last time we talked all about salty foods. But what about sugar? People always say, sugar is bad for your teeth or your weight, but does it also hurt your heart?
Great question. Sugar doesn't raise your blood pressure right away, the same way salt can. But here's the thing. Foods that are high in sugar are usually high in calories too. If you eat too many sugary foods, it can lead to weight gain. And that extra weight puts more pressure on your heart and blood vessels. That's when blood pressure starts to rise. It doesn't happen in a day, but it builds over time.
So, sugar works in the background, right? Like, you don't feel it spiking your blood pressure, but it causes weight gain, and that pushes your numbers up.
Exactly. It's like a chain reaction. And the trickiest part? Sugar hides in a lot of snacks that seem healthy.
Wait, healthy snacks with sugar? Do you mean like candy bars?
Nope. I mean, people think snacks are better than candy. Let's take granola bars, for example. You see words like all natural, fiber rich, or made with oats. But many of them have just as much sugar as a cookie. Then there's fruit yogurt. It sounds healthy, but some flavored yogurts can have 3 or 4 teaspoons of sugar in one tiny cup.
Wow, what about dried fruit? I see people snacking on those all the time.
Dried fruit is another one. Yes, fruit is healthy, but when it's dried, the sugar gets super concentrated. Plus, some brands even add sugar on top. A handful of dried mango can have more sugar than a donut.
You're kidding. That little bag of dried fruit might be worse than a donut.
In some cases, yes. That's why I always say, check the label. Look at how much added sugar is in the snack. Even drinks labeled healthy, like smoothies or fruit juices, can pack in a lot of sugar.
So, if someone gets hungry between meals, what's a better choice?
Great question. If you need a snack, go for things that fill you up without the sugar. A plain Greek yogurt with fresh berries is a good one. A banana with a spoon of peanut butter, or even just a boiled egg or a few raw nuts. These are snacks that give you energy without raising your blood sugar or your blood pressure.
All right, listeners, remember that. Don't be fooled by pretty packaging. Just because it says, and quote, healthy end quote, doesn't mean it's heart-friendly. Now let's shift gears a bit. This next one isn't a snack, but it sure shows up at parties, dinners, and weekend nights. Let's talk about alcohol. Dr. Adler, a lot of people say a little wine is good for your heart. But is that really true?
That's something I hear all the time. And the answer is, it depends. Some small studies have shown that red wine might help heart health in tiny amounts. But the key word is tiny. What happens with most people is they drink more than that, and more often.
So how much is too much?
The safe limit is 14 units of alcohol per week. That's about 6 small glasses of wine or 6 pints of beer, spread out over a week, not all in one night. And there should be some alcohol-free days in between.
But what does alcohol actually do to the body that affects blood pressure?
When you drink, alcohol relaxes your blood vessels at first. But over time, especially with regular or heavy drinking, your body starts reacting differently. Your heart pumps harder, your blood vessels tighten up again, and your blood pressure goes up. And just like with sugar, alcohol has calories too. So it also leads to weight gain, which makes the problem worse.
So alcohol sort of does double damage? Does it raise blood pressure and add weight?
Exactly. Plus, when people drink alcohol, they often eat more salty and fatty foods without thinking about it. It's a triple threat.
Do you mean the chips and fries that magically appear with every drink?
Exactly. Drinking lowers your guard. You're more likely to snack without thinking. So, the alcohol affects your blood vessels, and the snacks add salt and fat. That's a big storm for your blood pressure.
What about people who only drink on weekends?
That's where things get tricky. Drinking a lot in one night, even if it's just once or twice a week, can still raise your risk. We call that binge drinking, and it puts your heart under sudden stress. It's better to drink smaller amounts and give your body rest days.
So, what would you say to someone trying to cut back?
Start with simple swaps. Instead of wine, try sparkling water with lemon or a non-alcoholic version of your favorite drink. If you usually drink at a party, bring your own bottle of flavored seltzer and remind yourself, your heart is working for you every second. Protecting it is the best gift you can give yourself.
That's such a great message. So today, we learned sugar and alcohol may not seem like blood pressure dangers right away, but over time, they cause real trouble. Weight gain, blood vessel damage, heart strain, it all adds up. And even so-called healthy snacks can make it worse. Like sugar-packed yogurt cups dried, fruit with extra sweeteners, and those sneaky granola bars. Or one too many, harmless drinks. On the weekend.
Exactly. I always say if it goes in your mouth, it goes through your heart. So choose things that help your heart do its job, not make it work harder.
And now, in the final phase of an episode of this series, we're talking about something a lot of people depend on to get through the day. Caffeine. Whether it's your morning coffee, that iced latte at lunch, or the energy drink you sip during a long shift, caffeine is everywhere. But what is it really doing to our hearts? And how much is too much? Let's find out. Dr. Adler, let's just start with the big one. Is caffeine bad for blood pressure?
Not always. Caffeine is tricky. It's the world's most used natural stimulant, and it gives people that wake-up feeling. But yes, it can raise your blood pressure, especially if you drink a lot of it, or if your body's more sensitive to it. For most people, 1 or 2 cups of coffee a day won't cause a big issue. But when people start needing 4 or 5 or 6 cups just to feel awake, or when they add in sodas and energy drinks on top, that's when we start to worry.
So, just to be clear, it's not the caffeine itself that's the problem, but how much and how often.
That's right. In small or moderate amounts, caffeine isn't dangerous for most healthy adults. But once the amount climbs over 400 milligrams a day, the heart begins to feel the strain. That's about 4 or 5 small cups of brewed coffee, depending on how strong it is.
Okay, but I've definitely seen people at coffee shops order giant-size cups or double shots back to back. So, what actually happens in your body when you drink caffeine?
Great question. Caffeine is a stimulant. Within about 30 minutes of drinking a cup of coffee or an energy drink, it starts to work. It tightens your blood vessels. That means your heart has to push harder to get blood through those tighter spaces. This raises your blood pressure, usually by around 5 to 10 millimeters of mercury. The pressure peaks about an hour after you drink, then slowly fade away. But if someone drinks cup after cup or mixes caffeine with other stimulants like sugar or stress, that pressure doesn't come back down as quickly. For someone with borderline or high blood pressure, this can be enough to push them into dangerous territory.
Wow. So even if I don't feel jittery or shaky, the caffeine could still be putting pressure on my heart.
Exactly. That's one of the most important things to understand. People build a tolerance to caffeine, which means they don't feel that buzzy effect anymore. But that doesn't mean it's not affecting their body. It still narrows the arteries, it still raises blood pressure, and over time, that constant pressure wears out the heart.
That makes sense. And I guess caffeine isn't just in coffee, right?
Absolutely. It hides in more places than people think. Tea has caffeine, so do chocolate, soda, colas, and of course, energy drinks. Some of those canned drinks have over 200 milligrams of caffeine in one serving. That's like drinking 2 strong cups of coffee at once. There's even caffeine in some healthy protein bars, pre-workout powders, and weight loss pills. And when you mix those with your regular drinks, well, your daily caffeine total can add up fast.
Okay, let's talk about snacks again because we've talked about salty snacks and sugary snacks. But are there snacks that sneak in caffeine too?
Yes, chocolate is a big one, especially dark chocolate. People think it's a healthy treat, and in small amounts it can be. But if you eat too much, especially late in the day, the caffeine and sugar can work together to raise your blood pressure and make it hard to sleep. There are also chocolate-covered nuts, chocolate protein shakes, and even trail mixes that contain chunks of chocolate or espresso beans. All of that adds up.
And sleep is important too, right? I heard that not sleeping enough can raise blood pressure on it.
Absolutely. Sleep is when your blood pressure naturally dips and your heart gets to rest. If caffeine is keeping you up at night, Or if you're using it to cover up exhaustion, it becomes a cycle. Less sleep means more caffeine. More caffeine means higher pressure, and over time the heart just gets more and more tired.
Own. So, how do you know if you're getting too much caffeine?
One way is to track how much you're having each day. Read the labels on your drinks and snacks. Add it up. If it's over 400 milligrams, that's a sign to cut back. You can also check your blood pressure. Try this. Take a reading before you drink coffee, then again about an hour after. If your blood pressure jumps by 5 to 10 points, you might be sensitive to caffeine.
And if someone wants to cut back, how should they do it?
Slowly. Don't go cold turkey or you'll get headaches and feel miserable. Cut down by one drink every few days. Replace it with something warm and comforting, like herbal tea or hot water with lemon. Some people switch to decaf or mix decaf with regular until they adjust.
That sounds doable. And I love the idea of being more mindful. Instead of gulping down cup after cup just to stay awake, maybe we should ask why we so tired in the first place.
Exactly. Are you not sleeping enough? Are you too stressed? Are you skipping meals? Caffeine might be covering up the real problem. And if you're using caffeine just to function, it's a good time to talk to your doctor and check in on your health.
All right, listeners, let's sum it up. Caffeine can be okay in small amounts, but too much can tighten your blood vessels, raise your pressure, and make your heart work harder than it needs to. And it's hiding in more places than just coffee. So stay alert, read those labels, and listen to your...
Well said. And remember, your heart is strong, but it's not a machine. Take care of it. Give it rest. Don't overload it with pressure every single day.
That wraps up our snack series. We've looked at salt, sugar, alcohol, and caffeine. These little things can sneak into our daily lives and quietly raise our blood pressure. But now that you know, now that you know what to watch for, you've got the power to change it. Thanks again to Dr. Adler for joining us throughout this series. And thank you for listening. We'll be back soon with more ways to stay strong, sharp, and heart healthy.